that. And we have to do that. I'm going to turn the light on. I'm going to tell the monkey butt, she's a sweet little dog. Where's your sweet little dog? Where's your sweet dog? Okay, hello everybody, welcome. Excuse me, a problem where the problems are... Oh, my shirt's coming unbuttoned. Well, that's... it's not a strip show, Houston. So I was... YouTube said if I deleted previous charity shows, that I would then be allowed to make a new charity show. That did not happen. I deleted the charity shows, and then I still get told, nope, you're only allowed 50 charity shows. You can't do anymore. So I'm waiting for YouTube to get back to me. I was really hoping that we'd get to do our Charity Tuesday today, but that's not going to happen. So instead of doing Charity Tuesday, we're just going to have a normal show where we look at the day's events and go, what is wrong with the world? Which is where we are. Yesterday, the Trump administration announced they're going to turbocharge the Office of Denaturalization, start stripping people of their citizenships. Today, Donald Trump was talking about deporting U.S. citizens out of the country to other places. I know there's Canadians and there's Europeans, and there's people from Australia and elsewhere that watch this show. If I get deported, can I come crash with you? Because I don't really know where they're going to send me. Strip me of my citizenship and they're going to send me, I don't know where. So we got that going on. That's fantastic. That was exactly what the Germans did in the 1930s and the Vichy regime in France. They did the exact same thing to Jews. And when you have when you strip people who are citizens of their citizenship, you don't have anywhere you can actually deport them, because a lot of times they didn't come from anywhere else, right? So you then put them in a camp, and you're like, well, we'll hold them there until we figure out what we're going to do with them. And then they sit there and 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 they sit there for years and years and years and years. And eventually they start packing more and more in, and then they start running out of room. And then they're like, oh, we have a problem. I wonder what our final solution is. And then they figure out that final solution, which is wholesale murder of the populace. We are building an infrastructure right now that is going to require continual input of bodies. These private companies need them, because they're building these private prisons all over the place, charging money per prisoner for them, right? And if you do your job, you promise to do, get rid of all the undocumented immigrants, you're going to need more immigrants. So you got to start stripping immigrants of their legal status and put them through there. And then when they're done, you're like, oh, well, we got to start stripping citizens of their legal status, putting them in there. And it's a constant machine that needs to get fed. We've seen it time and again in authoritarian and totalitarian regimes across the world, and we are headed that way for that. Another great news, the federal government announced that they're closing down 250,000 jobs with the National Science Foundation and those involved with science research and education in the United States by next year. So there's a whole bunch of super educated people who all of a sudden won't have work, and research and development in the United States will be hindered greatly as a result of that. Elon Musk is like back to fighting Donald Trump again. He's like, you're going to lose, raw. And people are trying to goad Elon. My camera feels like it's a little too far that way. Right, there we go. Okay. People are trying to goad Elon into basically admitting what it was that he did for Donald Trump to get him elected. Like, hey, Brutus, you have one shot, because Donald Trump's going to strip you of your companies. He's going to strip you of your contracts. He's going to strip you of your money. He's going to strip you of your citizenship. He's going to send your ass to El Salvador. So you got one shot, dude. So make it count. We'll see. We'll see if Elon can get goaded into doing that. What else? I say to myself, I'm going to remember exactly what I put in here. Oh, yeah. People with Spanish last names, Hispanic last names, are discovering that when they're pulled over by the police, that the police may not have records of their existence. So individuals getting pulled over, hand over your ID and your insurance, whatever. Go back to the squad car. It's like, hey, are there other states that you lived in? And you tell me other states. Can I have your social security number? We have social security number. That ICE has been going into not all states so far, but many states. DMV, Department of Licensing, computer systems, and if you have a Spanish last name, deleting you from existence, so that there's no record of you, and if there's no record of you, then you could possibly be considered an undocumented person, and they can swipe you. So I guess if you have a Spanish last name, drive extra careful to avoid getting pulled over. Yeah, this shit, like, the slope is really slippery. It's a slippery ass slope that we're on right now. And the people who say, like, oh, it's a slippery slope, that's just speculation. So far the speculation has been spot on. I don't know if you remember me talking about this pretty much exactly a year ago about what was going to happen, that Stephen Miller was going to turbocharge the Office of Denaturalization, and that they were going to target immigrants of all kinds, didn't matter what kind, and then they're going to start targeting American citizens. That is exactly where we are. This is you cannot bounce back from this zone. And yet, SPY is still at 617 or whatever right now. It's crazy. It's absolutely just mind-boggling that interest rates are high. People are becoming employed at higher and higher rates. We're losing Medicaid. We're losing SNAP benefits. We're losing student funding for colleges. People don't want to buy our shit. They don't want to buy our products. They don't want to buy our debt. Housing values are dropping. Commercial real estate is worthless. Growth potential is like non-existent for U.S. companies. And yet the SPY is like, woohoo, yippee, AI, right? Yeah. Speaking of AI, GameStop apparently launched an AI for their employees. I read the little article on it, and I do not understand how the employees are supposed to use it or what it's for, but they have one. I don't know if it's an in-house built one or if they just took a ChatGPT or a Grok or something and just like slapped their name on it by licensing. But we got that. Monkey butt? Anything to add before I hit the button? No? Okay, then we'll hit the button. Button hitting right now. Okay. Kevin was first. Just made me happy Bobby Bonia Day. Bobby Bonia Day for all those to celebrate. Yeah, Bobby Bonia, he's not the only Major League Baseball player to have a prorated contract that goes on and on and on and on. But he's the first well-known one. And he'll get over $1 million a year. I think he stopped playing baseball in, 2002, somewhere in there. But he still gets paid over $1 million a year by the New York Mets until 2035. Ken Griffey Jr. gets $3 million a year from the Cincinnati Reds. Of course, most recent famous giant contract is Shohei Ohtani, who's taking $2 million for the first 10 years and then gets like $700 million paid after that. And he may not even be in baseball a decade from now. We'll see. So it's a way to go, Bobby Bonia. It's like forcing a baseball team to basically pay your pension long after you're gone. Always just fantastic. Good job, Bobby Bonia. Dead Bass. Does Bobby's old manager still offer negotiation services? Asking for my union. Also, Dead Bass saw a flag at customer's property the other day that unfortunately sums up the sentiment I've heard before. Trump 2024, the revenge tour. Pretty sad. Yeah, that's been my point. The Democrats have not put my most favorite candidates forward in recent years. Even though they're corporatists and they could be neocons, they still will like try for a modicum of, hey, let's improve everyone's lives just by a little bit, right? Which is, we want more. But in a two-party system, if that's what the other side's offering, that's what you got to do. So I voted for Kamala Harris with the hopes that our lives could get just a little bit better, right? At least we wouldn't regress. And the folks who voted for Trump, I think, largely voted for him to see him hurt people. And what they're discovering is that the hurt is not surgical. It is very broad. It is like a cat on the end of a clothesline, just hitting everything in sight. And there's no precision to it. So folks in deep red counties where Medicaid use, food stamps are like 40% or more, you're toast. Kids are going to be dumb as fuck because their schools are going to be terrible. You're not going to be able to go to college because only rich people are going to be able to afford college. There's been no advancements for whatever diseases you have or ailments you have because all the folks who do that research won't be getting paid anymore. So they're done. All the places that you love to visit and you identify as a hunter or fisher and you love going to Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops, all that land you go use out in the national forest and stuff to do those things, that's going to get sold off. Your energy prices are going to skyrocket because the cheapest energy available right now is solar and wind, and we're going to replace that with coal and natural gas. So your energy prices are going to go up 20, 30, 40%. Your food costs are going to go up. We're not prepared for bird flu, so that's going to wipe out huge swaths of population. But don't worry. Billionaires will go on their yachts and float around the middle of the ocean while that's going on, and they'll be fine. So, yay you. Seagill. It's like putting my dick in a blender at this point with those AMC calls. Dirty word here, I know. Are so cheap. Still investing in both GME and AMC. They both sure love nuking calls. It's true. They love nuking calls, especially when they get the opportunity to dilute as much as they possibly can. Let it rocket. Don't call things Project Rocket if you're not going to let it rocket. Let it rocket. Otherwise, it's just false advertising at that point. Kelly Reed had birthday HW. So Elon and Trump catfighting again. Elon might get deported by Doge. Fuck around, find out, buddy. So like I said, Elon's got one shot. It's got to be the kill shot. He's got to go to a New York Times or Washington Post or Media Matters or someone, PBS, somebody with all the documentation and proof that he did something nefarious for Trump to get him elected and that Trump knew about it. I'm sure the DOJ will come after him, but it would give a reason for somebody to park a tank on the White House lawn. Just say that. So he's got one shot. Otherwise, he's going to find himself in El Salvador penniless. And Donald Trump will take it all for himself. Because that's what Putin does. Remember the richest man in Russia a few years ago? I remember the guy's name. Let's see if I can find it here. Putin in prison, richest man in Russia. Mikhail Khodorkovsky. Khodorkovsky. Okay. He was the wealthiest man in Russia. This is 2003. He's believed to be worth between $15 and $25 billion. And Putin arrested him, threw his ass in a gulag, and stole the entire holdings for himself. Trump is not a reader. He doesn't like reading things. But if you tell him that information, he'll go, wait, he just arrested the richest guy, threw his ass in prison, and took all of those billions for himself? We're doing that. So, yeah. Mikhail Khodorkovsky. Yep. He was the 16th richest person in the world at the time, in 2003. Word. Putin in 2014, so just 11 years later, he was estimated to be worth between $200 and $400 billion. That's 2014, so just 11 years after that, Putin was the richest man on earth, wealthier than Elon or Bezos is right now in 2014. And the Panama Papers and the subsequent Pandora Papers really showed just how much offshoring of Russian wealth was being done by the Kremlin, basically for Putin. He's got his little grubby fingers and everything. And so it's a, you know, if you're going for strong man, richest man in the world thing, that's one way to do it, right? Ziomagadad do with Nub 5th. Different Lime, Houston. How's your gut for July 9th? I'm personally going to straddle 2 to 1 puts with a few days theta to be nice to get Liberation Day round 2. Yeah, I am debating my exact strategy basically on the 8th. And the 8th is what, next Tuesday? Calendar. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, the 8th is next Tuesday. So see you next Tuesday. I'm debating exactly how I'm going to approach that. I think I was hair trying to get inside my mouth. Do I risk it all and go 0 day? Do I go for 1 day out and just get fewer options and then play the volatility of the next day? Let's say I go for 2 days out. Tuesday afternoon, I buy for things that expire on Thursday. So I have a little bit of theta in there, right? In case things don't quite go how I want. So it'd probably be about twice the price. So if I've got like 3K to play with, I could pick up, say, 15 of those suckers going into Tuesday. And if there's big drops, that might like 3x on me almost immediately, like before open. And if that's the case, I can then sell those suckers, go to 0 date and get as many as humanly possible and ride that wave down until, I don't know, like 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Eastern, somewhere around there. And then sell. And then you wait for Trump to possibly be like, psych, I'm going the other direction. And then you ride that sucker the way back up. So, yeah. Like, last Wednesday he said, I might extend it. And then over the last few days, he's talking about making more punishing tariffs on European countries, on Canada. But then Canada's like, hey, we're getting rid of our internet tax. And now he's like, maybe we'll talk. I don't know. It's like trying to herd cats. I don't really know what analogy to use here. Negotiate with a toddler. It really is just everything's on a whim, and you don't know which way the wind is blowing at this point. So yeah, Kyle Garibaldi, first person on YouTube ever watched regularly. Remember Pen Pals? This is like an advanced version of Pen Pals, and you have many. I don't remember Pen Pals. I'll have to look that up. Pen Pals? Monkey, do you know it? Are you familiar? Are you familiar? Hey, Monkey. Hey. I'm not trying to sleep. Are you familiar with Pen Pals? I'll have to look that one up. I don't know that one. Kikadian, Houston, I challenge you to a dance off. There you go. Show me your best funky monkey dance. I'm not really sure what the funky monkey. Hey, monkey. What's funky monkey? What's funky monkey? Is that where I boop you around? Is that where I funkify you? Huh? Are you funky monkey? Are you a funky monkey? Are you? She's like, just let me sleep, asshole. What is wrong with you? You are a prop, monkey, and nothing more. Kelly Reed. Beautiful bill passed the Senate. America is done for higher prices when consumers don't have cash right now. Great job, Trump. Make it make sense. I mean, last fall, Elon, is part of the transition team. Is coming in with Doge and everything. He tweeted out. He told the world that the goal was to destroy the economy. He just came out and said, our goal is to destroy the economy. And they're doing it. But for some reason, the spy is pretending like they aren't. There's literally not one single indicator, economic indicator, anywhere that's positive for the United States. Zip, zero, zilch, none. Not a single indicator that's like, you know what? Things might be okay. There isn't. Every recession indicator in the world is like glowing like hot uranium at this point. And it's not going away. It is nuclear. and it's going to break. We had one local bank go down, some bank in Iowa go down on Friday. There's going to be some big ones out there. There's hundreds of billions. I think there's $480 billion in unrealized losses across major banks at this point, and most of those have to do with corporate and commercial real estate bonds that are just going unpaid, and they're just putting it off, like shoving it into the closet or sweeping under the rug, pretending like no one will notice, and business as usual is going to keep going. Maybe someday they'll pay us, but it's not happening. So, yeah, the big beautiful bill passed the Senate, but with so many changes, it's got to go back to the House for reconciliation. Everyone in the House who voted for this then read it and went, oh, shit. So now they're going to make a whole bunch of changes in the House. And then we'll come back to the Senate for yet another reconciliation. So like Lisa Murkowski, she basically accepted voting on carving almost $1 trillion out of Medicaid and cutting SNAP benefits and everything else. And she's like, but if we do this, people in Alaska will starve to death because people in Alaska, food is crazy expensive and they need those assistance in order to live. And the Republican senator's like, how about we make you exempt? So you'll be fine, but everyone else can get screwed. And Liz Murkowski's like, that's good. And she voted for it. And then she's like, I hope the House votes against this because it's terrible. Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ, you dumb bitch. Just, if it's bad, you vote against it until you get a bill that's good. That's how it should work. You don't vote for it and then go, I regret my vote. That's the dumb way of doing it. I really wish I could have helped people, but, I wanted to go on vacation. It's dumb. We live in a dumb timeline. Murphdorf Studios. Hey, Houston. Finished the Indiana Jones game recently. Super fun story, even with some awkward gameplay. We're checking out when you get your game for the year. Favorite Indiana Jones movie. Favorite Indiana Jones movie is The Last Crusade. I like that one. Least favorite is probably Crystal Skull, because Crystal Skull was just a remake of The Mummy 2. Like almost scene for scene remake of The Mummy 2. And The Mummy 2 was better. You got the collapsing pyramid with the jungle monkeys tearing everything apart. It's the exact same movie. But Brendan Fraser was healthier and younger and handled it better. But Last Crusade was my favorite of those. I was not allowed to watch Temple of Doom as a child. Mother strictly forbade it. I could watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. I could watch Last Crusade, but I was not allowed to watch Temple of Doom. And so whenever there's a period of time at my best friend Evan's house growing up where his family had cable, and there was like 2 months where Temple of Doom was on like 3 times a day on HBO or something, and we watched it a lot. Golly boss. So yeah, I definitely saw it, mainly because my mother told me I wasn't allowed to. That and I was allowed to watch Married with Children, but I still watched the hell out of that when she didn't know. Shut up, Peg. Bex, hey Houston, happy birthday! I can't believe you're born on Canada Day. Happy birthday, Canada! To our Canadian brothers and sisters to the north. I passed another first round for a job at also Vancouver Community College. So I've got two interviews coming up. One for head of their science department, and one for their head of education access and student education access and accessibility department, which is like getting people jobs after college. So hey, I'll do that too. I don't care. I'll get you jobs. I'll find you jobs, Canadian community college students. Let's see where it goes. I've applied to a bunch of other schools. I haven't heard anything back from those ones yet. I should probably go check in on those. It does help if you're applying for jobs to go like boop pop boop pop beep pop boop. Hey, I applied for a job there. Just want let you know that I'm totally ready and raring to go. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Because then they go, oh, that person cares. Follow up. Follow up's good. Follow up is very good. You want to show that you're a go-getter. Frozen State Productions, happy birthday. I was first on last night's replay. It was fun. Yay! Oh, Stephanie L. shot a super chat in here. If Dems take the House and Senate next November, do you think they can reverse this shit? Or is it permanent? News on Picoin. Picoin is sitting at like 50-something cents. I wish it was at $180. I'd be out of here. So nothing's really happening with Picoin at the moment. I still don't think it's tradable in any U.S. exchanges, which is really weird. But if Dems take the House and Senate next November, do you think they can reverse this? They can do a lot of things. The problem is that I don't think they'll have a majority in the way that they'll be able to get veto power against or overcome veto power. So they may not be able to necessarily reverse things, but they will be able to stall things, right? So with the trickery they'll do, they'll take a bill that Trump really, really, really wants to get through, and they'll just pack it with all sorts of things Trump will hate, and they'll get that passed. We'll have one terrible thing and a whole bunch of good things, and Trump will be forced to sign it because we lost the line item veto power of the presidency a few years ago from the Supreme Court. So that's probably what they're going to do. But I'm leaning towards us not possibly having elections in 2026. Things are moving fast. And if they're at the point where they're going to start stripping Americans of citizenship and deporting Americans to places that are not America, they're going to not have elections. Or if they do have elections, they'll be so compromised. They'll be like re-electing Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Well, look at that. Trump got 97% of the vote. And the entire Congress is made up of MAGA Republicans. Oh, wow. That's the kind of crap we could be looking forward to. I'm not too hopeful. There's not a lot of hope going on in this old cabeza here. And if the Dems are going to do something awesome, it's going to have to be straight populist. Like, they got to fight populism with populism and take the I want to hurt people and make things bad crowd and put it into the I want to help people make things good. That needs to be the messaging. Like Trump labels these things in really simplistic, like fourth grader terms, like the big beautiful bill. And Democrats need to come out and call it the big bumbling bill. That's what they do. Just the big bumbling bill. Rebrand everything and do it against Trump. You cannot let him use this terminology and own the language. You have to poke him right back because he's a schoolyard bully, so you have to treat him like that. You have to treat him like a fucking schoolyard dipshit. And when you do it, you be like, oh, the big bumbling bill. Because you want to make everyone who loves it feel like a fucking moron. That's what you got to do. You have to make them feel small to the point where they won't want to participate doing anything. There'll be like a lash out, like, oh, I'm going to lash out. But once they don't get the reaction they want at everybody, they're going to like fold into themselves and then stop participating. And that's what you need. You need these dumb idiots to stop getting themselves involved and to just go back under the rock they came from. And they can stay there for the next 100 years. So yeah, we need to be meaner as a Democratic Party, be cruel to the point of being bullies ourselves. Someone's messing with your friend, you don't go, oh, please stop. You punch them in the face. That's how you got to do it. That's the only thing they respond to, because that's what their dad does to them. And that's how they stop messing with people when their dad's around. Because they don't understand the negotiating tactics. You have to stop the violence first. You have to get like, knock it off, right? And get them to go, oh. And then you can bring other approaches after that. But you can't negotiate with a rabid dog. You just got to put it down. And that's what it is right there. So, can Democrats reverse it? Theoretically, sort of. In reality, the odds aren't good. Like, will there be elections in 2026? Focus and ask again later. Will there be elections in 2026? Don't bet on it. Okay, so There we go. There's your answer. First Day Productions, I'm hearing GME BBBY action won't be until fall 2025, early 2026. Why so damn long? I don't know. I honestly do not know. You got me. Why? Why so damn long? I don't know. Monkey Butt, do you know? I don't know. I don't know. Not a clue. It seems to me like it doesn't have to take this long at all. But here we are, years and years and years into all these plays, and nothing cool is happening. So, Boss Fight Super Chats. Any suggestions from chat for Houston Man, for community org to join, or other ways for people to volunteer, work more actively to oppose fascism? Get in there. Be involved, for one. Be involved. If you got money, throw money at things, because people listen to money. Go to marches. Write letters to the editor. Talk about it with other people. When you see a Cybertruck drive down the road, give it both barrels. Things like that. At the state level, the state legislators are much more responsive and accessible. Next level up after that is going to be your members of Congress. Like they'll respond. You show up to their offices and you talk to their people. They will respond to you. They might give you lip service, but they'll respond to you. Outside of forming, paramilitary organizations, I really don't know what the answer is going to be. So, yeah. And Julia says, "Count me out due to Latin name." Yeah, the folks with the Latin names, those ones are definitely more at risk than others at this point. You have to go by like Julian Cantor or something like that. Change your name. And they'll be like, "Oh, Julian Cantor. Are you English?" You'd be like, "Yes, I am an English white person." Different Lime. First Day Productions. It just ain't happening, brother. That's if it keeps being postponed. That's kind of how it seems to be. Yogi 2012 GME insider buying. Yeah, an insider bought 5,000 shares. First insider buy since this time last year, I believe. So that's interesting. Lisa saw, if Elon is deported, surely all the white South African refugees can no longer stay. Anyway, what's to stop him from making South Africa great again? I don't know. I literally wrote this scenario into my master's thesis. I've talked about this in the past. When I was doing my master's in space studies, a lot of our class discussions revolved around the fact that Elon was a basket case and not as smart as everyone thought he was. And that he was very much reactionary. And our joke was that Elon was one inconvenience away from becoming a Bond villain. And in my master's thesis, which was based around international law, like space law, the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, in it, there's countries that never sign the space treaty, meaning they aren't subject to the laws established in the space treaty. And the laws they're very broad and very vague, and they're very more related to the space race between the Soviet Union and the United States at the time. But they basically said that no nation can claim celestial bodies. You can't go and plant your flag on the moon and say the moon is now mine because I got here first. I claim this land for Spain type actions, and that anyone in space is a diplomat, meaning they aren't subject to international law but to the laws of the nation of origin they came from. And in it, I sort of laid out this hypothetical where Elon, either through blowing up too many rockets becoming a security concern, or just pissing off the powers that be's, essentially gets stripped of his nationality and or security clearances or his companies, etc. And he moves to a non-extradition country that never signed the space treaty. And at that time, my example was Libya, because you're going to go for a lower latitude, so you can do more launches, etc. And the Elon goes to Libya, takes billions of dollars cash there, sets up his space agency, SpaceX there, and starts doing launches. And he goes and he lands on the moon and he claims the moon for Libya and himself. And the national community goes, how dare you, right? You can't do that. It's against your national law. But Elon got there. He got there first. He's mining helium-3. He's sending it back to Earth. He's making trillions of dollars off of this. And it's going to take, 15 years and trillions of dollars for any European Space Agency, Japan, China, anyone to actually mount enough of a response to go and kick Elon off the moon, which means by then it's too late. And that was sort of my outlier. This could sort of happen. Fucking crystal ball. It's there, man. We're almost to the point where Elon might pack up all his shit and move to a country that never signed the International Outer Space Treaty, and start going from there. He'll cozy up to some authoritarian in one of those states. He'll have no problem doing that. So, Viva la Libya, I guess. It's kind of interesting. It's weird when you work through a hypothetical, a game theory hypothetical like that in 2000. When I write that, 2018, and here we are 7 years later, and it's playing out. Just, I'm not Nostradamus. I do not see the future. It's just that assholes are really predictable. If you're presented with a slew of decisions, an asshole is going to pick the same one every time. They're very predictable. You think, what's the worst, most dickish thing you could do? That one. They're going to do that. And then that's what they do. That's not rocket surgery, folks. Assholes are really predictable. When presented with an asshole, you know exactly what their move is going to be. It's going to be the asshole move, because the asshole move is the most obvious one that normal human beings with consciences don't choose. They go, well, that's something an asshole would do. It doesn't even occur to them to do that. But Elon's an asshole. He'll always do the asshole move. Donald Trump's an asshole. He will always do the asshole move. Vladimir Putin's an asshole. He'll always do the asshole move. You know exactly what they're going to do at all times because you just look at what an asshole would do, and that's what they're going to do. It's pretty easy. So, assholes are predictable. And the problem is with good people are always trying to find the good in others, and assholes don't have good in them. They're assholes. So, they're like, well, we'll find some common ground. The asshole will give you lip service and then just do what assholes do every single time. That's how they roll. They'll negotiate a contract for your company to come in and do the plumbing in their condo towers. And they'll give you all these perks and bonuses, and you will go through it, and at your own expense, you'll do all this work, and they're just never going to pay you. Because that's what an asshole does. Right? So just assume when we deal with an asshole, they're going to do asshole things, and never take them at their word. Just assume they're going to do asshole stuff. It's just so dumb. I know I say that a lot too, but it's just so dumb. Putin's going to invade Ukraine because he's massing people at the border. He's telling you he's not going to do it. He is. He's an asshole. It's what assholes do. You just assume that they're going to do the asshole thing. They're so predictable every single time. The bully little shitty assholes you grew up with school, they're bully shitty little assholes today. They all do the same crap over and over and over and over and over again. Right? They just do. And you ever meet somebody and your first instinct is heebie-jeebies, ugh, right? Throughout my life, I'd meet, and it was usually men. I'd meet men, I'd be like, yeah, he give me the willies. I don't like this guy at all. Well, in your brain, you're taught well, give him a chance. Maybe they're different. Maybe whatever. But as I got older, every single time one of these dudes gave me the heebie-jeebies, within a year or two, I would read about them in the paper for like trying to take a little girl into the changing rooms at the showers at the pool, or like locking some kid in their basement or whatever. Like every single time one of these dudes gave me the willies, it proved that that gut response, that like initial feeling I got from them was completely warranted. And that gut feeling, that is like millions of years of evolution. That is my ancient ancestors who survived the willies of those guys being like, nope. And life is too short to give the people who give you the heebie jeebies the benefit of the doubt. You don't have to sit there and be like, I'm going to learn their life story and try to help them through their issues. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to go diddle some kid, and you've wasted all that time. When someone gives you the heebie jeebies, just move on. When someone's an asshole, just assume they're going to do the asshole thing. If they prove you wrong and don't do the asshole thing, why, oh my gosh, I was finally wrong. But you know what? I haven't been wrong about that yet. Assholes are assholes. Heebie-jeebies are heebie-jeebies. Just run with it, man. That is evolution at work. If you can recognize those two things and you aren't going to fight those basic instincts, you're gonna do okay. Don't let the assholes win. There. I mean, did you see the released tapes coming from Donald Trump's sister, the former federal judge? They got released. Basically, she was like, that guy's a fucking prick. I hate his guts. He's dumb as a rock. He's a total asshole. And I got him into college and he wasted it. And then he went and got somebody to take his SATs for him, and we got him into UPenn. He did not go to Wharton. He took a couple of classes at Wharton. He was not a graduate of Wharton. He was at Penn because we basically had someone lie and say they were him to take the SATs. And she's like, if he ever screws me, I will nuke him from orbit. And that's basically like, you know, the whole family knew he was an asshole. That's what they do, man. Yeah. So, where else are we? In 9, what are the worst parts of this bill? Any highlights? Slashes the budgets for NOAA, National Science Foundation, National Institutes of Health, USAID, park rangers, wildland firefighters, public schools, environmental regulations, clean air, wants to add asbestos back into our lives. There's a shitload of stuff in there that is absolutely horrible. Basically, the entire thing is horrible. It also jacks up the deficit by another $5 billion or so, while giving tax cuts to the ultra wealthy and increasing the taxes on the middle class and lower. So yeah, it is a giant bumbling bill full of hot garbage, and it's going to make your lives worse, and it's going to get people killed. A study came out today showing that USAID had prevented 95 million deaths worldwide, and that the current cuts to USAID is going to cause 14 million people to lose their lives who otherwise wouldn't have. This bill is going to kill people. It's plain and simple. It's going to make people's lives worse. It's going to kill them, and the rich don't care, which is why we're going to have to eat them at some point. That's going to be the response. The outrage of the hungered and huddled masses is going to be so great that the torches and pitchforks will come out at some point. That's just how it works. There will be violent revolution if this continues this way. And the people at the top, there aren't not enough of them, which is why they want the robots and the drones and everything else, because they're going to need a robot army to take care of the hundreds of millions of everyone else, if that's the case, because there's not enough of them to do the fighting. And, you know, the folks that currently want to do the fighting for them, if you're deporting the dads of like active duty Marines and National Guardsmen, and you're taking people who are veterans who, you know, Purple Hearts, and sending their asses back to like Cambodia or whatever, you're you are stripping the core out of the core, and it's going to be hard pressed to find folks who are going to be willing to fight for you if that's the case. And there are not enough Chad Chaddingtons III out there to sign up for the army as grunts, as like frontline soldiers, if Chad Chaddingtons don't have to go to the military. It's inevitability. It's an inevitability. It is a guarantee that there's going to be a very violent future for many of us if these bad things keep happening that are wholly unpopular. The big beautiful bill is hated by 60% or more of the population. They don't like it. They hate its guts. They don't want it to pass. And yet Republicans are like, stamp, because I might get primaried. Well, now you are going to get primaried because Elon just said anyone who votes for it, he's going to spend billions of dollars to run somebody against you. So you're getting primaried regardless, my man or woman. Just how it runs. But at this point, the Republicans seem more scared of Trump than they are of Elon. So that should tell you whose side they're going to be on when that whole battle starts to bubble. We wild, hey, Houston. I really need to leave my job. Is there anyone out there looking for an experienced environmental expert? Ops manager. I hold an EU passport, so I can work almost anywhere, except USA and Muslim countries. Not because I'm racist, because I'm Israeli. Well, there we see. Everyone's looking for ways out of where they are. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm in the U.S., so I can't help you there. I'm looking elsewhere because the writing's on the wall. Yeah, if anyone can help we well, let them know. And 9, insider buying. So nothing expected to happen in the near term. More thumb twiddling. Thumbs are bloody nubs. They're almost non-existent. Like I'm about to become like, I don't know, a squirrel? Squirrels don't have thumbs. Lisa saw worst part of the, oops, that just, sorry Lisa saw you just reset the chat here. Where'd you go, Lisa? Where are you? Where are you? There we are. Worst part of the big beautiful bill is 17 million people losing access to Medicaid. These folks may be better off self-deporting. Perhaps that's the plan all along. But the thing is that the folks who are on Medicaid don't have the funds to like self-deport, right? These are U.S. citizens, often disabled, often poor. Like, yeah, sure, I'll self-deport. Like, cool, go buy a ticket. I don't know. Like, my third show ever was called Murder of the Private Healthcare Industry. And it was all about how if we just got rid of for-profit healthcare in America, we could save trillions of dollars and lives and cure things like homelessness. It would save us so much money. Like you put in a stipulation, you need so many hospital beds per county across America. Done. Or so many hospital beds per person per county. So if you have a small county, 1,000 people, you need, 10 beds for those 1,000 people in that county. Well, you got yourself a little clinic or hospital that can handle those 10 beds. Guaranteed. If you need, put a stipulation for 300, one mental health care bed for every 300 people that can handle, permanent folks who need permanent residency because of their mental health issues, and folks need temporary residency to help them through whatever they're going through. It would guarantee these people lives, right? Instead, we're closing down rural hospitals because rural hospitals can't make money because there's not enough people in these rural areas for healthcare to be financially viable. So the hospitals are going to be closing. Right? They're going to close, and then there's going to be no access for huge swaths of where Republicans live. This cat is screaming at the door here. All right, fat cat. You want to come in here? Want to come in here and do some drugs? Is that what you want, you little turd? Huh? Yeah? Is that what we're going for? A little drug addict? Get out of my way. I got to sit down. Get out of my way. Okay, so, everyone's biting off their nose to spite their own face in this case. Like, You live in the sticks. You're a farmer. Guess what? You have no more customers and no more workers, and you're going to go bankrupt. Oh no, you got sick or injured because you're working way too much trying to make up for the fact that all your employees have like fucked off or been deported. Oh, the hospital's 10 hours away because that's the nearest metropolis to where you are out there in like East Bumfuck. Tough shit, right? Now you're like sick, injured, you can't get any help. Oh well, that's what you voted for because of your racism. Now the rest of us have to suffer because you're a goddamn idiot. Cool. Like, I don't understand the notion that you hate something so much that you would rather see somebody else get injured than something good happen to you. that's stop it, you little monster. That's where we are, and it's just little face. Look at your little face. Okay. Cover one on super chats. Is it possible an aspect of physics could be classified by the government? Material science alone could technically be physics, right? Well, material science is physics. It's chemistry. Chemistry is a branch of physics. So yeah, material sciences is. I mean, I know there's like classified. You mean like made top secret? Like no one's allowed to talk about material sciences. That'd be interesting. But it is, man. Material sciences. It's physics. It's physics, chemistry. You're looking at the way things bond. You know, what type of materials they're made of, whether they're alloys, compounds, elements, etc. That's all. That's stuff that experimental physicists and working physicists and chemists do. Yeah, yeah, right. You can bite my face. Oh, you little booger just put snot all over my glasses. Okay, watch tail cat. Nathan Scott found out this weekend that I live near an active volcano, Denaturalization, Colorado, so I paid a visit. I got some awesome pictures and found a few Denaturalization diamonds, quartz found in the lava rock. Look it up. Denaturalization. Diamonds? Is that what they're called? Denaturalization diamonds. Images. Scene. There we go. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's beautiful little quartz. That's really clear quartz. That's some nice stuff. That's the type of quartz that the Soviets would make spy satellite images out of. That's a big piece of quartz right there. It's pretty, guys. It looks really waxy too. Looks almost like a raw diamond because it's so waxy looking. So, Denaturalization Volcano Complex, Colorado. How long ago did it last erupt? Let's see here. Got Wikipedia for me? Denaturalization. There we go. Denaturalization. Blowout, large, angular, regular, blah, blah, blah. Crater. 1888 was first researched. 1890. Okay. Last eruption about 2200 BC. That's pretty recent for that area of the country. That's very recent. Huh. Geology, most prominent feature, square cone complex, blah, blah, blah. Rock. Activity, here we go. Square cone complex interpreted to have been formed a single eruption which occurred in 3 phases of activity around 2200 BC. The eruption date is based upon radiocarbon dating of wood found beneath the lava flows. This eruption began with magmatic lava fountaining along northeast-southwest trending fissure. That this aligned with the major axis of the Denaturalization crater. The lava fountaining deposited variably welded agglomerates. Another rim, blah, blah, blah. Phase eruption was significantly more explosive as indicated by the phatomagnetic evacuation of Mar and deposition of lapilli tuff. Increasing into lapilli. Your tail, quit blocking the thing with your tail. Okay. And volcanoes, the Dotsero and volcanoes that have erupted in the last 10,000 years are more likely to become active again if the Geological Survey considers it a moderate threat to impact air travel if it were to erupt. Well, let's figure out where it is. Where's my Google Earth? There we go. Bam. Kitty, your tail is still in the way at all times. Let's go. I had Prince George on there because I was looking just how far north Prince George was and whether I wanted to apply to a job there. So there is the cone. So 2,000 years, you can get a lot of trees starting to grow, can't you? What do you got here? Got ourselves. So that's the scoria right there. It's pretty big. That's a big poo right there. That's a big stromboli. Like that's probably a pretty big event. So it looks like you can see from the colors here, like that's the eruption. That's the massive damage area from probably the pyroclastics going that way. So where are you in relation to everything else here in Colorado? Okay, there's the Front Range. So we're on the backside. This is like no man's land out here. Okay, noted. Not too far from Aspen. Just off I-70. Word. Actually, I-70 goes right under it. So you drive under it on I-70. Interesting. You can see it from the road. Huh. It's been a while since I've been on I-70. It's been like a decade since I drove through here. What we got here? A little trailer park? What are you? This is the actual town. Just looks like a bunch of houses. And a truck stop. And outdoor adventures for rafting. Colorado River. Okay. Noted. There's lots of these little guys in random spots where the mechanics between the volcano don't really fit the more traditional what you'd expect from like hot spots or subduction zones. Like you go to out here into Nevada. Let's go to Tonopah. Tonopah, Nevada. Tonopah is a little mining town. It was a ghost town at one time, and then give me the dick. Quit, knock it off. Stop being a dick. Stop it. I'm trying to talk about Tonopah, Nevada here, and you are being nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. So just south of there, we have a whole host of cinder cones, and where like lots of eruptions happened, and all these little peaks here. These are all fairly recent volcanic eruptions, all on the south side of this town. And here's tons of gold to be mined in this area. But you can see all the cinder cones in here. These are all cinder cones from volcanic events that are fairly recent, within like the last 50,000 years. And you know why? Like, why is there this cinder cone complex here if there's not really a hotspot volcano? Like, what farted to make this happen? There's no subduction zone. There's no rift zone. Like, what made you do it? Why are you here? What's going on? It's very weird. But yeah, I don't know. There's just weird ones out there. You're like, ¿por qué? You don't fit the normal mold of all those volcanoes. Oh crap! I didn't turn off the. It's all your fault. I'm blaming you. You're gonna bite me because of it? You're gonna bite me? You're gonna bite me? You're gonna chew on my finger? Ow! Give my finger back. I have to use the mouse. Ow! Give me my finger back. Okay. Turn off the intro. All right. Well, right at the end there. I can do one more and I gotta run away for the day. I didn't even make it to the start of the show today. I did post really early because I was trying to get the charity show set up and it wouldn't let me. Don't you dare. I'll take a picture of the Dotsero diamonds for you. Can you explain how the quartz are formed? I don't necessarily know. I have to look it up how the quartz was formed in those. Normally, you get big crystallization like that in magmas that take a long time to cool. So, like, there's things called gabbros, where if you've got a magma chamber that goes blub, 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 right, and it might erupt, and the eruption comes out, and the lava flows come down, and it's usually really gassy and lots of holes in it. But the magma chamber that's below, if it sits there for tens, hundreds, or thousands of years and slowly cools, things will start to crystallize out. And so your gabbros will have big giant crystals inside of them. Uh, that, and then there's also volcanics where there's crystals that can survive really high temperatures that are brought up from deep. So like in Hawaii, you'll get peridot, um, uh, green little stone crystals, and they get brought up from deep where the crystallization has already happened, and they get farted out. Kimberlite pipes will do that with diamonds. Magma will come from deep with the crystallized diamonds already in it, and they'll just out the diamonds because the diamonds have really high ability to withstand high heat. So I'll have to look up and see which instance it was to create those quartz crystals there. So maybe lava flowed, gas pockets, silica filled, and the crystals formed inside the gas pockets. That could also be another way it happened. But we'll find out tomorrow. At some point, I'm gonna do a show tomorrow. I have to do a Costco run. I have to mow the lawn. I gotta get ready for 4th of July barbecue. So if I do a show on Wednesday, it'll probably be at nighttime. So look for a night show tomorrow. Okay? All right, everybody. How about the intro one more time? Yay.